It's a good day for anime. Welcome to Not Enough Anime. Now I know, it's been a long while since I made the last video, and right in the middle of a top 5 too. I'm sorry. A lot of things came up and I was busy for a while, but here I am now, ready to give you the latest and greatest in anime again. Anyway, let's get right into it. My top 3 anime of the spring 2021 season is SSSS Dynazenon, and in extension, I'm also recommending SSSS Gridman, which is technically the prequel to Dynazenon. Both of them make up the Gridman Universe so far, but Dynazenon can be watched as a standalone story, so don't be too worried. So both Gridman and Dynazenon are both collaborations by Studio Trigger and Tsuburaya Productions, the same production studio which did Gridman the Hyper Agent back in April 1993 to January 1994, the series upon which the current Gridman universe is based on. So, short synopsis. One day on his way home, a first-year student of Fujiyokidai High School named Yomogi Asanaka meets a mysterious man named Gauma who claims to be a kaiju user, who has been resurrected after dying 5,000 years ago. However, Gauma isn't the only person to have resurrected from all that time, as the kaiju eugenicists have also returned to continue their goal of seeing kaiju take over the world. Suddenly, a kaiju and a giant robot, Dynazenon, appear. Yume Minami, Koyomi Yamanaka, and Chise Asukagawa also happen to be passing by, and together with Yomogi, they are caught in a battle with the kaiju. Hearing that, the story seems pretty simple, and it really is. That doesn't mean it's bad though. In fact, it's that simplicity that helps elevate this anime to become my top 3 anime of the season. Getting this out of the way, Dynazenon continues Gridman's homage or revival of the Tokusatsu genre. So for those of you who don't know what a Tokusatsu actually is, according to Wikipedia, Tokusatsu is a Japanese term for live-action film or television drama that makes heavy use of special effects. The most popular types of Tokusatsu include kaiju monster films such as Godzilla and Gamera film series, superhero TV serials such as Kamen Rider and Metal Hero series, and mecha dramas like Giant Robo and Super Robot Red Baron. Some even combine several of these subgenres, for example, the Ultraman and the Super Sentai series. Now, you don't have to be a fan of Tokusatsu to enjoy the Gridman universe, and if you are a fan of the genre, then that's great! You aren't gonna find any flaws in the anime as a genre fan. What Dynazenon does really well that continues from Gridman is that whilst there is an abundance of those big bombastic colorful giant mecha fights, the character development is just outstanding, if not straight better. Most people will watch the anime for the mecha action, just as I did, but will absolutely stay for the character drama. For fans of the Gridman anime, while Dynazenon retains much of the story beats and the style of animation and directing, it does 2 specific things differently from Gridman. First is that Dynazenon has a bigger and, dare I say, better ensemble cast than Gridman. In Gridman, they really mostly focus on the character developments between Yuta, Rika, and Akane, with Akane's story arc being much more focused throughout the show, being its main theme and all. But with Dynazenon, there's no character left behind. While one might argue that Yomogi and Yume are the main protagonists, the other members of the Dynazenon squad doesn't really suffer from less screen time. In fact, it's amazing just how much character development they managed to squeeze in a 12-episode show. That's taking into consideration that they still had to put in ample amounts of fighting. Plus, the way they handled each character arc is phenomenal because it all just feels so real. The developments and interactions feel so realistic, like even the awkward moments and pauses that you would never expect from an anime with a script, they're all there.
行くね。ほら珍しい。予定あるの？あ、待って。ん？なんだよ。
Even their motivations are more realistic than anything. None of them come from a place of heroism. They all have personal stories and traumas that they had to overcome and face throughout the story, and as they spend time working together and fighting as Dynazenon, you can clearly see that there's a shift in each of their personalities and dispositions throughout the show. The show did really well in fleshing out their characters over the span of a few episodes. The second thing that Dynazenon does differently from Gridman is the way the antagonists are set up. I mentioned before that the main focus and driving force of the plot for Gridman was unraveling what made Akane tick, and what her motivations were for doing the things that she did. Well, it just so happens that Akane was also the main antagonist of the show for most of its run. Dynazenon goes away with this and uses the antagonists as more traditional foils of the show, in that they're just that, antagonists. The details as to why they're doing what they're doing, and even the history behind all of it, were left intentionally vague. Unless, of course, you've been a fan since the beginning back in the 90s. And that's only because it's not as relevant to the plot as other aspects of the story. That's not to say they weren't interesting characters though. Mujina and Suzumu come to mind as they were both the ones most involved with the main cast of characters. Mujina especially being a big part of how Koyomi grows as a person. Now some might say that the antagonists were weaker compared to Gridman, and to an extent I might even agree, but I say that there were just different focuses for both series and that's okay. That's about all I can say about the story without spoiling too much. Hearing this, it may seem that there wouldn't be enough action in this anime, but trust me, you'd have your fill of the things that make a tokusatsu. There's an abundance of sequences of the different parts of Dynazenon merging, of attack names being shouted before they execute them, the glorious fight choreo between kaiju and giant mech, they're all there and more. Even the enemy kaiju designs are also colorful and unique. Of course, all of this is paired with amazing animation all throughout the series. Plus, it's Studio Trigger. Even if it is just a passion project of their B team, you can at the very least expect some solid animation from them and they definitely delivered. You can kinda tell that it's not the main team that usually produces anime from Trigger, as there is a stark difference in the animation styles between the Gridman Universe and all their other works like Little Witch Academia, Kill la Kill, and Darling in the Franxx, but I think this style fits the anime much better. I really have no complaints about the animation. Sure, they reuse some clips, especially the combination sequences of Dynazenon, but that's just standard fare for any tokusatsu, or really, for any media with multiple combination sequences, so that's forgivable. Plus, their combination sequences are pure eye candy. They're so good. I rarely have any complaints with anime music, and that persists until now. The music they use was perfect for the mood of the scene they're currently showing. It gets your blood pumping when the scenes demand it, and it mellows out the scene when it's more drama heavy. All in all, this is a really well made show with amazing pacing, animation, character development, and action. It's really just a well balanced show and it does everything well. It may not be exactly like Gridman, but it's not really trying to be. Oh, and before I forget the most important thing, I'm sure there's a lingering question from Gridman fans all throughout this video. Does the thick remain? And the answer is yes. The thick remains. This alone makes it a solid 9.5 out of 10 for me. But jokes aside, I really do rate it a good 9.5 out of 10. I'm really excited for what's coming next, and you can expect another review video for when it does come out. Now, only 2 anime remain for my top 5 for spring 2021. Can you guess which anime they'll be? Leave a comment down below for your guesses. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon so you don't miss any anime updates. You're really helping me out by doing so. Once again, thank you so much for watching. This has been Mav of Not Enough Anime. See you next time.